Happy Tarot Tuesday. So what is happening this week? Well, the planets are doing their thing, and what that looks like right now is this beautiful card right here called Temperance. Now, this woman right here is the embodiment of balance, but balance is typically tied to this card. I want to use the word understanding because there's so much here to unpack, but this is first of all from the major arcana. So this is a huge major influencing energy that is coming over us right now. Okay, she is standing in an open field over a portion of earth in which she has planted some seeds, and she is standing there with her shovel and with her jug of water, and she is tending to that creative vision. She's planted some seeds into fertile earth, and she says, hey, I know you're going to grow. I know you're going to feed me one day eventually, but for now I understand that I must be patient, and in the meantime I must care for you, and I must nurture you, and I must do everything I can in order to make sure that this harvest is as healthy and abundant as possible. So she's holding a shovel because she is not afraid to get down, get dirty, okay? She knows what work she needs to do and she can get it done. And then she's holding a jug of water because not only does she water her seeds, but she is tapped into the part of herself that feels out when these seeds need to be fed. So she is really, really practical. She is really action oriented, but at the same time, she has the ability to dip into what she feels and intuit when is the right moment to act. She stands between the sun and the moon, so she is inherently connected to both day and night, dark and light, inner and outer worlds. Everything that she puts out into her world comes from deep within herself. So the fact that she's nurturing and caring for and cultivating the world around her comes from her ability to do the same for herself. And here, as a result of that, as a result of this beautifully creative, committed, dedicated person, we see that her garden is blossoming. Yeah, it's in full bloom. She is committed to these cycles of planting seeds, of envisioning, of manifesting, and then putting in the work, actioning her visions, and then waiting to receive the fruits of her labor, and then receiving, and then understanding that this process is cyclical. So on one hand, whatever creative vision that she dreamt up in the past has now come into fruition, and she can stand there and admire her garden of roses, understanding everything that it took for her to get to that place where it's like, wow, it's in full blossom. But she ain't gonna sit there and be like, look at my garden, bitches, look at my garden, look at my garden. She's like, cool, beautiful, what am I gonna do next? These flowers are going to die soon. This creative project is going to come to an end, and it is time for me to commit to the next. It is time for me to accept both endings and new beginnings and be the facilitator for both. Okay. And the more I talk, the more relevant this becomes to my life right now, because I have just put out something hugely. I have just culminated a huge creative vision, and I have put it out. I've birthed it. It's done. And now I'm seeing the next one come to life in my own head, and I'm transitioning from one to the next. And this is the nature of life. We cannot get attached to any one moment. I think I wrote this in a post yesterday. We cannot get attached to any one moment, because we need to look to the future and keep moving. You know, like to live in presence is to understand that the future is always now. And so it's to live in flux with that sort of idea. Okay. Now, again, she is really, really understanding. She is someone who receives information, and she allows herself the time to perceive before she responds. Because to act from a place of complete balance and complete harmony between action and reception and you know, intuition and intellect, she bridges all of these gaps, and she is able to respond from that space. So what you have access to this week is a place of bringing parts of yourself together in order to understand how they can contribute to you as a whole when you are at your best and when you are therefore balanced. And I really do believe that we should be striving for balance, and we need to be able to figure out what that means for us. And we have access to that this week. Now, last week, I told you guys, I fucking told you to start manifesting or to manifest those visions, because we're getting really crystal clear on what the hell it is that we want. And right now what the planets are doing is they're aligning, and we've got like Mercury in Leo and Mars in Aries, and we've got all of these planets that tap us in to our passion and our purpose and our flame, our fire. And it's like, hey, this is what feels good to you. This is what you want. This is how you can express it. This is how you can action yourself in a way that's moving towards that. And so Temperance comes in to be like, all right, baby girl, we know what we want. Now let's act in a way that allows us to receive. Let's act in a way that allows us to channel the best of ourselves into our world and to respond from a place of clarity and to act from that space. So if we have access to that, this is absolutely fueling our fire. It is absolutely connecting us to those creative visions. We have the 8 of Wands, Wands being the suit of fire, and Wands connecting to our soul purpose, our passion, our motivations, and our soul. And what's really interesting is I had this fucking vision this morning in my meditation, and to me this card represents a time of unraveling what, like, all of the best and worst of us, and seeing what needs to stay and seeing what needs to go, because we're understanding that it is time to receive. We are so clear on our visions. We understand how to come to a place of balance within ourselves, where we are both, exercising, working really hard, and then taking really, really good care of ourselves, and eating so we're chemically balanced from the inside out, and we're treating each other well, and we're, manifesting, and we're receiving, and we're doing all of that work. And so now it's time to go deep within yourself. And for me, I have this space inside of myself that's like my heart portal. Okay, it's like it's a thing, but it's like this cave, and there's crystals, and there's this orb of light that shines at the center of this space. And when I meditate, I journey into that space, and I sit in front of this orb, knowing that that is my soul. That is the part of me that is connected to everything. And I sit before it, and I let it tell me what needs to be done. And so this week, sit in meditation and connect with the part of you that knows what you want, that knows who you are, and that knows how to go out and get what you deserve. And let that part unravel the parts of you that have died and that need to come back to life, or that need to die. And you stand there and you alchemize all of that. You're like, cool, this is not good, and cool, this is awesome, and cool, prepare to embody something more. Prepare to step into the next phase of your existence. Where the 8 of Wands, where we're approaching the 9 and the 10, we're approaching a state of control over our fire. The ability to channel our purpose and our passions into our world. We're in a place where we are perhaps entering, this is also a card of endings and beginnings, and being inherently tied to both of those things, understanding that an ending means a new beginning, and a new beginning means an end, and understanding what inside of you needs, or what in your life needs to go, and what in your life needs to be embodied. Okay, so yeah, to me, this card is go deep into your inner temple and sit in that space, and make sure you're still clear on those visions from last week. What is it that you want? What is it that you're ready to receive? And then understand that you have seeds that you need to plant, or that are ready to be planted, that have already been planted, hopefully last week and over the course of the year, whatever it is. And it's time to nurture that, and it's time to tend to that. But it's also time, so on the outside, you're this beautifully calm and centered individual who is tapped into everything they need to do in order to let the energy around them be harmonious. But on the inside, you're this fucking swirling like energy that is like being channeled from the inside out, and you're standing there, your wizard self, and you're like, yes, baby, yes, wake up, put it out. Let's see what's not good. Let's fuck that off. Let's see what's good. Let's embody that. And yeah, like, I don't know, I had this like mental image of like strands of DNA that are laying dormant inside of ourselves, like epigenetics, like live in a way that is promoting the best of your physiology, that is promoting the best of your physiology, that is promoting the best of you to be activated. Yeah, live in a way that allows you to continue to embody the potential, the infinite potential that you are, and stand back and allow that process to occur. Yeah, facilitate that betterment, facilitate that whole beautiful divine process of unraveling and putting yourself back together a little bit better than before. Okay, so yeah, you've planted seeds. It's time to tend to them. It's time to work hard on your creative visions, especially if you're a creative person. Let's start putting those projects, like let's start getting the gears turning. Yeah, like my next project is so huge, it's daunting me. But this week the cards are like, bitch, it's time to start drawing. It's time to start conceptualizing. It's time to stop saying, this is what I'm going to do next. And it's time to fucking do it. And at the same time, it's time to be really understanding of not only yourself and where you're at, but as a result of where you are, understanding where the world is at, where the people around you are at, and why they're acting the way that they are, and understanding that you ultimately dictate how you can respond to that, to them, and that's it. Yeah, we can only do what we can do from our end. And so let's make it about that. Let's sit really, really honorably within ourselves this week. And again, on the inside, let that fire churn. Receive whatever you need to receive. Let go whatever needs to be let go. Allow that little process to occur, and understand that we are making our way towards something really, really big. And get your hands on that fire. Get your hands on that Leo energy that we're still sitting under. Express yourself openly. Action shit like bravely and courageously, and go with it. Go with it, but not from a place of from a place of like, I'm ready to go with it.